Today, I want to talk about a very profound secret that you find in the yogic and Ayurvedic culture that is widely missing in America. The profound and unknown impact of food on our minds, on our consciousness, on our performance, on our success. In America, we make it seem like food is all just about losing weight, preventing disease. We don't make this connection that food has profound impact on how you feel, on your hormones, on your psychology, on your moods, on your cravings, on your behaviors, your tendencies. We don't attribute it to as much as they understand in the East. In the East, they understand that everything, not only food, even non-living things, have different qualities. And based on those qualities, they can impact you. If you go even next to them, nature has an impact on you. It's very calming and serene. Let alone if you consume something into your body, of course you're going to get that quality. So they've made categorizations based on the understanding of the innate qualities of each object, and they pay very close attention to how everything affects the system, so that they can surround themselves and associate themselves with things that will give them balance and poise and peace and well-being and strength. So I want us to understand more and more that food affects not only your health, but how you feel right now, how you think, how much you can concentrate, how strong you are, how comfortable you feel, how at peace you feel, or if you're agitated or tired or dull, or if your mind can't concentrate, if you can't focus, if you just feel restless and full of angst. A huge part of that, of how your mind functions, is what you're putting inside yourself. Understand, because the body breaks down that food and creates every cell and hormones and neurons, and it's all fed with energy, and the energy comes from the food. And so we really have to hammer this home, that food affects your mind. Food affects your mind immediately. So what we're going to talk about is the categorizations, that we can understand what qualities each food has, so that we can eat according to what we want. And it will instantly affect how you think, how you feel, the amount of happiness, the amount of calmness, the amount of love that you can produce. Because it's the very building blocks of your mind, your hormones, of everything inside your body. It's a very intimate process that we haven't paid attention to. So in the Eastern system of Ayurveda, we can look at things with qualities called the Gunas, which means how it affects your consciousness, how you feel, your body and mind. So we're going to talk about the Gunas, the 3 Gunas. We're going to talk about alkalinity of food and how that affects how your body feels, and if disease is taking place in your body, the ease of digestion. And we're also going to talk about how to fine-tune your diet for exactly your personal qualities, which is called the Doshas, which is just another way of saying the energetic properties of food. But first, let's talk a little bit about the anatomy, because you have to understand, when the food enters your body, if it has poison on it, which is a huge factor, if it has the pesticides, the herbicides on it, what does that mean? That means it has chemicals on it that are meant to kill organisms. And the way that the pesticides work, a lot of them, they work on the digestive system of the insects. And we don't realize a huge proportion of foods that we're eating are sprayed with Roundup Ready, a pesticide. And so we're disturbing our digestive system. It's ironic, we're eating the food to nourish ourselves through the digestive system, but we're destroying our digestive system, and we underestimate the power of these poisons. But they're on almost everything because the companies wanted to increase their productivity and their profits. And so when your digestive system is being harassed, then it doesn't digest the food properly. So not only is your body not getting nourished because it's not able to digest as powerfully and as completely, but part of that food is remaining in the digestive system and it becomes poison. So you're getting deficiency from lack of nourishment, and you're getting toxicity from the undigested food sitting in your body still. The word for that in Ayurveda is called ama. Ama means poisons, putrefying, rancidifying, a stench from this undigested food in your body. And your body doesn't know where to put this food. It can't send it through the system because it's not digested. And so the poisons will be sent to different parts of your body for storage inside mucus, and it will stay there until you can detox it. And it's said that this is the source of all disease. This weakens your immune system. This makes you dull and weak because 70% of your immune cells in your immune system is in your gut. So it's like their headquarters is in your gut, and we're killing the gut with poisons and poisons. So the whole system is more susceptible to disease and we're weaker. Not only that, but the gut also creates 95% of our serotonin. So the gut is not only making immune system cells, it's creating hormones that affect our mind directly. Think about that. 95% of our serotonin is created in our gut. So it's very important that we protect our digestive system and our gut, because serotonin is the feel-good hormone that makes you feel good about life. It makes you feel good about the studying that you can do, the working out that you can do, the socializing you can do. It gives you that calm steadiness in life. And when you don't have the serotonin, you feel angst, worry. You don't feel at ease. Every disease comes from deficiency or toxicity. And if we're getting nourished, it's from the digestive system. And if we're getting toxified, it very well can be coming from the digestive system. So the food can either be poison or it can be nourishment in life. It said that food can be medicine, but a lot of the time food is poison. Not only is it laced with poison, but the food itself can be poison. So we talked about what can be on the food, but what about the food itself? Now, if we're eating animal products, we are eating the qualities of the animal. And a lot of these animals they're not naturally raised. They're raised in very unhealthy environments, in factory farms. And the horrible thing, the take-home message about this, is that the animals are harboring horrible health conditions and horrible emotions, horrible hormones, fear, anger, hatred. And that gets into the system, and that stains their flesh, their bones. It's still in them. And then they get slaughtered, and then it goes to us, we get packaged, and we don't know that we're eating these hormones, these chemicals. So when that cow or the chicken has the fear and the anger and the unfulfilled longing for life, and you're eating that hormone, you're getting that quality. So we don't think as much about what the food really is. We're not looking at the truth of what we're really eating. And how we feel a lot of time can be a mystery to us. We don't know why we feel fear or worry or angst about life or depression, sadness, weakness, lust that we can't control. We don't know where our emotions come from. We'd like to think that we're rational creatures, but we're emotional creatures. And a lot of time our emotions are a mystery even to us, because we'll feel things that we don't know where it came from. And very few of us have actually taken the time to look in and pay attention, and research, and find out the truth about how to change yourself, how to control yourself. So even if it was a healthy animal, you're still getting the qualities that that animal had. We'll talk about vegetarian diet in another series because we have a lot to go over. Let's talk about the Gunas, the energetic principles of everything, in particularly here, the food. So everything in this world has a particular energy to it. We classify this as Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Sattva meaning sentient force, intelligence, liveliness, perception, intelligence, balance. Anything that gives you peace, stability, happiness. That's what we call Sattva. Rajas is a disturbance, a movement, an unsettling, imbalanced force, a mutative, a feeling like you can't be settled. So this is the change. This is the change. And foods can also have this quality. Foods can make you feel like always moving. You can't sit still. You're always trying to change something. You never feel complete or peaceful. And tamas, lastly, is dormancy, death, dullness. So you can see that in stones, in seeds. Where can you see tamas? You can see that in insects. You can see that in animals, monkeys, squirrels. And you can also see sattva. You can see sattva in nature, the serenity, the peace and intelligence of certain animals. So we want to know what kinds of food have each of these qualities so that we can feel the same qualities. Obviously, we want more sentient force. If we want to perform good, have light bodies and sharp minds and the ability to concentrate and focus and think clearly. So what are Satwik foods? Satwik foods are nuts, seeds, fruits, especially fruits and vegetables, beans, legumes, mostly all plant-based foods, ghee, coconut oil, coconut milk, foods that you eat and they make you feel light and focused. Look at the list of Satwik foods. Milk, very nourishing, very light. berries, especially very juicy foods, guavas, pineapples, papayas, apples. These are Sophic in nature, very calming. Now, let's look at the Rajasic foods. Rajasic foods are foods like coffee, very agitative, caffeinated teas, caffeine itself, which is slightly acidic and poisonous to the body, stimulates the nervous system. You have foods that are fried. You have meats. You have fish. Take a look at the tamasic food list. Chocolate. Sorry, everybody. Chocolate is tamasic. Now, it's not that you can't eat any tamasic food, because tamasic tends towards activity and action. It has a different energy, but you don't want it to be the dominating food in your diet, because then you're going to feel unease. And it's not the energy that you want if you want to be happy. And lastly, Rajasic foods. It is tamasic. Tamasic foods, the dull foods, old foods, fried foods, fish, meat, most animal products, processed sugar, white rice, processed breads, any fake foods, any packaged foods, foods that aren't real, foods with preservatives, or highly concentrated foods like sugar. So obviously we want to stay away from the tamasic foods, because that's going to make us feel dull, lethargic, and tired. We want to eat more of the Satwik food, especially the yogis want to have the Satwik food so that they can feel energized and have activity and have focus when they meditate. So even if you just start eating more of the Satwik foods, run an experiment for 3 days. Just eat a majority more Satwik food, and you'll find your mind will work differently, your body will work differently. You'll be able to prove this immediately. Now, let's talk about alkalinity. The alkalinity of food will also have a big impact on your energy levels, the strength in your body, or if you just feel dull and tired after a meal, which is really the worst thing. This will impact whether or not you get life-changing diseases, because immediately you'll feel the lack of ease in your day-to-day. That just means you're building up towards a dis-ease. You have to realize diseases don't just come upon us one day. We gradually encourage them and earn them and build them. So we want to eat alkalizing foods. We don't want to eat acidic foods. Now medical science is showing that diseases like cancer thrive in acidic states. So we want to create an alkalized environment for our body that's nurturing to ourselves, that carries the electric current of our nervous system much easier than the acid state, that makes our body feel less pain and recovers quicker, and that all the enzymes and all the reactions, our metabolism is aided. So this list is very similar to the Guna list. You see, the most alkalizing foods are going to be the most juicy fruits and the most soft foods. And as you move more and more acidic, you're going to notice it becomes more heavy foods. A general rule of thumb is that if it's very easy for your body to digest, then it's alkaline. It's alkalizing, rather. And if it's very difficult for your body to digest, then that's acid forming, because your stomach will have to secrete so much more acid to digest these foods. That creates an acidic environment for your whole body. because remember, your whole body is created from that food. So looking at the most alkalizing, we have coconut water, we have light herbal teas, we have light herbs, we have juices from fruits and vegetables, not the store-bought, freshly squeezed juices. We have soft, juicy fruits like cantaloupe, watermelon, honeydew, papaya, mango, guava, pineapple, peaches, strawberries, blueberries. And we also have the softer, non-starchy vegetables like spinach and kale, a lot of leafy greens. So those are the most alkalizing. Now, there's categories of slightly alkalizing, slightly acidifying, and dangerously acidifying. Moving down the list, slightly alkalizing, you have nuts and seeds, especially if they're soaked. Soaking them makes them much more digestible. It takes away the anti-nutrients. Or did you know foods can actually be so hard to digest that they seep away the minerals and the proteins, the nutrients? So it's very important to soak the nuts for 8 to 12 hours before you eat them. This will make a huge difference on your digestion and your well-being. Same thing with the beans, believe me. I've made big mistakes not soaking the beans and wondering why in the world I feel so dull and lethargic after eating beans and nuts, which also have to be soaked in baking soda to remove the pesticides. Very important to get all of this organic. Remember, we can't have the pesticides on our food or else it becomes poison. So slightly alkalizing is just basically plant foods, but slightly harder to digest, slightly more solid foods. So just remember, it's like the starchy vegetables, the harder vegetables, broccoli, potatoes, cassava, pumpkin, or actually cooked pumpkin or sweet potato is probably very alkalizing. But you have things like rice and wheats and barley and quinoa and multigrains. Think of the whole plant species. Soft, very alkalizing, a little bit harder, slightly. Moving on to slightly acid forming, where you should really limit. Maybe a couple times a week for a healthy person, maybe even less. You start to have things like refined breads, refined sugars, packaged foods, older food, unhealthy dairies, non-natural dairies. And then we have the very acid forming foods, which are basically eggs, meat, fish, and highly processed foods, packaged foods, your junk foods, your veggie meats, the foods that have over 20 ingredients on the back with chemicals that you can't even pronounce. Vegan junk food is slightly acidic and acidic. Fried foods. Foods with unnatural levels of sugar, even if it says cane sugar. Even things like French fries, potato chips, even if it's sun chips or something like that, very acid forming. So combine this with the Guna list and start eating the alkalizing foods and the Satwik foods. And I guarantee you're gonna feel like a completely changed person. Because notice, you're gonna be eating more vegetarian. You're gonna be eating far less meat. Your body's gonna have far less acid and lethargy in the system. And you're instantly gonna feel bursts of energy, a cleansing of your body, a strength, a happiness, a natural happiness like when you were a kid. Your body's gonna be able to cleanse and detox. When you just eat according to Sophic and alkaline, your whole physiology will change, your whole outlook, the whole chemical environment, the entire thing will change just from changing the food that you eat. And this is a personal journey. You can change it gradually, a little bit at a time. You can start by changing one meal, your breakfast, into a smoothie that has 4 fruits, 4 vegetables, ginger and lemon, and some pumpkin seeds on top. Maybe some vegetarian protein. I don't recommend that all the time, but I recommend the pumpkin seeds for protein. Change one meal and you'll already find an extremely different sensation in your body. Your day is going to be completely changed. And then start altering the next meal. And just see how it changes, just based on these 2 concepts. When you start understanding the change, just by changing your breakfast, just by changing one meal with a smoothie, 4 fruits and vegetables, you'll want to experiment more with this, because you're going to feel like your skin is better. You're going to look better and brighter and feel better. You're going to feel better at your job, happier with people. It'll be very worth your time. So once you start feeling the benefits, then understand the fine-tuning of things. To understand the fine-tuning of things, you have to understand your own personal qualities right now. We're talking about the doshas. Dosha means an energy type. It's different from the gunas, because a dosha is what stays with you from birth. You have a certain distribution of 3 different qualities. And according to that, you should eat to balance yourself. So for example, the 3 doshas are Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Vata being a person who is more thin, drier skin, smaller eyes, smaller frame, more of a fast person, brittle nails. You can think of people like this. Their mind tends to be scattered all over the place. A little bit anxious, jittery person, prone more to fear, but very creative. Less stability in the body and the mind. A Pitta person is kind of like a medium build. They're more aggressive persons that take a lot of action, and they can be very prone to jealousy, anger, but they're very great leaders. Their body type is more hot. It has more of an odor, a medium build. They can be a little bit thinner, a little bit thicker, a little bit muscular, athletic type builds. And then we have the Kapha qualities, where this person is very calm, a little bit more slow, a little bit more body fat, big bones, lustrous eyes, smooth hair, oily skin, glowing complexion, but they can be a little bit fatter, and their mind can tend to go towards laziness and stagnation and attachment and greed. But they're also very good at forgiving. They're very confident people, calm, easy to be with, loving people. And so, of course, everybody has different levels of these 3, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So there's tests that you can do. I have a video where you can take a 10-question test and figure out right now what is your distribution of the doshas. Based on what your test shows, you should eat to balance this out. Because if you're showing high Vata, then you want to eat more Pitta and Kapha and less Vata foods. Every food is classified as one of these 3. So for example, me, I'm a Vata. By nature, I'm more thin. I tend towards worry, anxiety, but I also have a lot of different ideas. I like to be fast, and I like to try different things. You're very spacious. You have a lot of different ideas, and you have to ground yourself and get more stability in your body. You're more prone to weakness, pain, arthritis, inflammation. And so eating more kapha foods will help balance the vata, and getting rid of more of the vata foods that tend to make you more light. Like spinach, a lot of vegetables tend to be vata. Anything that is bitter, astringent, these are qualities that vata foods have. Bitter, astringent, and pungent. Getting rid of those foods and having more kapha quality foods that have qualities like sweet and sour and salty. So more sugary foods, more fatty foods, more salty foods, all the things that I like. So it wasn't hard for me to say I need to gain a little bit of muscle and weight. I need to lubricate my body with more oils and fats. I have to eat more salt so that I can hold on. Salt is it's like a glue. It's like a sticking, concretizing. You can't have too much of it, or else you'll start to get congestion and stagnation and accumulation of fat and disease. So I'm the opposite of a kapha. A kapha would want to eat more vata, more vegetables, more bitter things, because bitter tends to dry the body out and flush it out. But a vata doesn't want that. A vata wants more strength and stability. So I'm eating more yogurts with jaggery. I'm eating more honey. I'm eating more, even certain vegetables have kapha dosha. Beets, blueberries, papaya, pineapple, banana. So it's very interesting to be able to look at foods and understand that it either has a quality to give you strength, stability, or to give you lightness and detoxification. Or even a lot of pitta foods are hot, which means they're pungent, they're bitter, and they're salty. If you feel like you're more prone to ulcers or skin rash, then this is a sign of pitta, and you want to decrease the heat in the body, and you want to eat more cold, unctuous foods. So even just taking away the pitta, you'll balance your energies. So this is the fine tuning, where you see where you are and you fine tune the foods. There's an excellent website called Joyful Belly, which will tell you what every single food is, so that when you're eating yogurt and pumpkin seeds, you can type in yogurt and you'll see, oh, this is kapha dosha. And if you're vata, then that's a good thing. If you're kapha and you're trying to lose weight, then you should not eat as much yogurt. So you get to research, and there's charts. Look at these charts and see the vata, the pitta, and the kapha foods, and start to understand. It will take time to understand the qualities of foods that you're taking in. But remember, this is the quality of your body, your mind, and the disease that you'll avoid. The harmony that you'll have right now, and the state of agitation that you'll avoid right now, that will lead to dis-ease. You need ease, you need strength, you need balance, and you need food that supports you. It's a very complex chemical equation. Foods are all very complex chemicals and hormones, and we're literally creating our entire body and mind and consciousness from it. So how can we expect to be masterful or even perform well if we're eating poison? No, we have to eat food that is medicine. It's the easiest thing that we do every single day, a recurring transaction. Imagine either medicine or poison to your mind and your body every single day, 3 times a day. Is that worth it, or is that not worth it to pay attention to? It's either nourishing everything about you or killing every part of you. So we went over a lot in this video. Take-home points are about the 3 gunas: sattva, rajas, tamas. You want to eat sattva. So look again at this list, snap a photo on your phone, eat more sattva. Only a little bit of rajas. And don't get overly concerned. Don't start being religious with this. Be diligent. But if you eat food that's not the best for you, don't blow it out of proportion and get dramatic and start thinking that it's poison. Your body assimilates not only the food, but the emotion that you eat with the food. So have good emotions when you eat, even if it's not the best food. Be thankful for it and know that your body is grateful for this food. Don't take it too seriously, because if you start getting worryful or overly compulsive about this, then that's not going to help you either. You have to relax. You have to relax and just do your best. That's all that you can do. We talked about alkaline foods. We want to eat easy to digest foods that will make your body feel fresh and energized. So here's the list of the alkaline foods. Eat mostly alkaline. And then we have the fine tuning, the doshas, vata, pitta, kapha, where once you have the other two unlocked, start understanding every single food has these different qualities, and to balance yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, you want to understand how you are physically and mentally, and every single food, the qualities that it has on you. Guys, I hope I've made this clear that food impacts how you think and how you feel and who you are so deeply. And there's a lot of information and wisdom that we can get from the East in Ayurveda and yoga, so that we can purify ourselves, body and mind, so that we can understand more how we feel, and so that we can prevent the millions of deaths that are happening due to cancer, heart disease, kidney disease, pancreas disease, brain disease. All of our organs, we can save them from falling apart by nourishment and knowledge. Please like the video if it's helped you. Subscribe if you want more deep information on your well-being, applicable, practical. I want you to be strong and healthy with this information that should be taught to us from a very early age, but it's not. And that's why we're suffering, and that's why we have to pay attention to these simple things. Because you, as a person, you cannot change if you don't change your food. If you keep on eating poison, you cannot develop and grow. Period. This is the most simple thing that everybody can do to completely enhance their lives and to prevent so much pain and suffering unknown. Because food has an unknown impact that we haven't realized, because we have to pay a lot of attention on our bodies and minds, and we can change ourselves and be happier people and change the society. Because in America, we have a problem with health. So please share this with somebody. Think of somebody who can use this right now. Who can you save with this information right now? Who can you help with this information right now? A student, a family member, a friend. Share this video with one person and start to apply it in your life steadily, slowly, and joyfully. Thank you for watching.